So let's continue the class. What's the next question?
Hold a second, please.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any programs, shows you don't like watching?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are some programs such as reality shows related to relationships between um, male and female when they, for example, have to find their half in these programs. I really dislike this kind of programs because I think that this is the waste of time,
Mm-hmm.
and not only time, but I believe that this is the bad experience for teenagers or children, because these programs are mostly 18 plus, but they are but you can but you are free to watch it, so there is no strict control.
Mm-hmm.
So and another side is I think that this is the wrong interpretation of relationships. I mean, as a way that you go to the program and for example 10 girls are fighting for just one man. uh,
You want to
I
say that
think that
it's a fake? You want to say it's a fake?
firstly, it's a fake.
Okay.
Secondly, why should girls fight for a man? I mean, we live in the world when girls are fighting for their rights, for their position in this life. So I believe that
And for someone they love, why not? If we continue your logic, so you are saying that in this life, I'm sorry, in this world, females fight for everything, for their rights, for their position in society, for a better job, for a higher salary, etc., 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 including a male who they like. Why not? If we continue logic, so we can come to the same point, that it's okay when females fight fiercely for a particular male. What's wrong in this case? If we follow your logic to the end.
yes, but I wanted to say in another direction. I mean, yes, I agree with your statement, but I wanted to say that we have to show to the next generation that not only women fight for her love, but maybe according to the people who used to live in the 19th or 18th century, when in the era of gentlemen, when men should do the first step and to fight for the heart of his love. So I mean, maybe we should make it in the more balance, where for example in one TV show there are women who fight for a man, but in another there is opposite situation. So
okay,
I
I'll get it.
think that
No.
I'm
Hold a second, please. I just want to ask you some provocative questions, okay? Look,
okay.
we both live in Germany.
Okay.
It's a typical European country, right? And we seldom see the demonstration of what you have said. I mean to say that in a typical European family, it's very unlikely to come across a female fighting even physically for somebody they love. But and you say it's not a good thing to do when a TV show shows such scenes, bloody scenes when females fight for somebody they like, right? Did I get it right?
Mhm. Yes,
But let's
right.
imagine another situation. So another alternative, another possible alternative, which actually occurs in some typical Oriental TV shows. Oriental, for example, in Indian shows or in Uzbekistan shows, when family life is shown as something ideal. Uh, so I'm not an expert of the Uzbek language, but I know one of the expression they liked to say, kultur multur. Yeah, they show something which is quite ideal. When a male loves his
Mhm.
uh, male and vice versa, they love each other and nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong in their relationships. Everything is so cloudless, is so perfect. And parents-in-law are so perfect towards the new members of their family. And what is strange for us Europeans is that they live together, like like a clique of family, yeah, family, very strongly connected family circle, yeah. And for us Europeans, it seems strange. So I know that
Mhm.
you have been living in Germany for 27 years. You were born
Yeah.
there, and so was I. But would you like to watch such TV shows with ideal family landscapes?
Well,
Just in order to protect the upcoming generations from something dirty. Do you think that this would be a good solution to the problem? Indian movies in documentary style, or Uzbek movies in documentary style, in order to protect our young generations from some something dirty. Da, 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 da.
well, at least I believe that it would be um, a good point to compare with.
Mhm,
For instance, um, in human nature, it is okay to want something, to want everything the best, and I can relate it in the relationship also.
mhm,
I mean, even yeah, if traditions and the picture of family is different in Germany, but from my experience, I also want my family to be perfect in all the fields.
mhm.
So maybe
In all
by
aspects.
watching in all aspects,
Mhm,
and maybe by watching this kind of shows, which illustrate the perfect family and the perfect relationship, I can take something for myself. For example, there are occasions where when someone uh, when someone has to be imperfect to solve some problems, um, or just to widen my world vision, for example. But I think that if I uh, if I have enough time for TV programs, I want watch this kind of shows, because maybe they can teach um, about some right behavior, and everyone can take some advantages and disadvantages from these programs. But as for me, I don't like these programs at all, because if I had a chance, I would seen, for example, more scientific program or shows related to history or
Or nature.
historical or nature. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I've got it. Thank you. In other words, you want to say that you wanted to say that, but for some reason you didn't use these words, which I have just chosen. These are a golden medium, right? So
Yes.
the best option in all aspects is to choose so-called golden medium when, or sometimes they say happy medium or
Mm-hmm.
golden mean when something bad and something good are balanced and people see that it's natural because everything which is natural is a combination of something good and something bad. But when
Mm-hmm.
we see something on the screen of our computers or our TV sets, something absolutely cloudless, spotless, so we understand it's another fake, another extreme. Okay, thank you very much. So your next question, please. By the way,
Uh,
I just want to ask you one question about your speaking German. Can I ask you?
yes, of course.
I
It's
know that,
my native.
yeah,
So
yeah,
feel
yeah. I know that you speak German because you were born there. I mean, you were born in Germany, but you don't speak German at work because mainly you deal with people who come from other countries. So tell me, please, is it easy for you to communicate with representatives of other nations, other countries at work? And how long did it take you to pick up the medicine English vocabulary?
well. I have been studying English for 7 years, and
Okay.
I think that it's enough to make this foreign language my native one
Hmm.
because I used to have a lot of.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I call it my cousin language. Not native, but my
Uh,
cousin language. Cousin.
uh, and I used to have a lot of extra lessons, and I was lucky to have the best teacher in the world who taught me everything that I should know about this language. I can give you his number if you need. So
Thank you. Thank you. You want to say that my English isn't good enough and I need somebody's help. Okay, I've got it. Thank you. Yeah, it's okay. Indeed, my English isn't perfect, of course. So when our conversation is over, we will
I,
start speaking German.
I didn't mean this. I just wanted to say that my teacher's English is really perfect, and
Wow.
yours is like in the same level.
Wow. Thank you.
Maybe because he's your brother, like sibling, близнец, no?
Uh, Bliznets? What does it mean, bliznets? Is it an English word? You mean, I don't speak Chinese, I'm sorry.
I I have forgot this word.
You mean tween, a tween?
Oh my god, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but you know, the reason why I asked you this question, well, we both know what is happening in the Ukraine, right? So the battle between Russia and the rest of the world, etc., etc. I'm not going to talk about the politics. Fuck the politics. No, I don't like to talk about the
I'm not
things.
good at politics,
Yeah,
so it's okay.
yeah. Thank you. The question is that, you know, I have spoken to representatives of both Russian and Ukrainian nations, and to my surprise, both speak Russian equally well. I'm going to say that Ukrainians speak Russian perfectly well. And to my question, why they speak Russian but not Ukrainian, they say that it's very hard. At times, it's very hard to start speaking Ukrainian because the two languages are very similar to one another. Um, and it depends on what first language they heard back in their childhood. And for that reason, I want to ask you another, perhaps some provocative question. I know that you were born in Germany, and most of the time you speak German. but every day you practice speaking English. Tell me, please,
Yes.
to what extent would it be correct to say that German doesn't allow you to speak English even better? To what extent would it be correct to say that German isn't a friend, a linguistic friend for you when you want to put forward your ideas in English?
Well, German um, is much can I say harder language than English.
Yes, yes, more
Uh,
complicated, much more complicated.
More complicated, to be more precise.
Hmm.
The grammar of German is full of um, full of a lot of this grammatic things, and which are don't even exist in English. So in English, it's much easier to use the grammar, or and some words are similar with German. For example, nine, which means no in English. So
Hmm.
it is close to the um, ear.
Hmm.
Uh, so I think that uh, the um, I mean, from my experience, I needed to learn English because of my work.
Hmm.
Uh, because I need to communicate with a lot of people, and we do all the documentation in English.
Hmm.
So I didn't have a chance not to learn or study English, and maybe this was the point that I there wasn't another way for me, so I put myself together and learn and I had to learn everything and every word in English. But because I mostly spend my time at work.
Hmm.
Uh, to be clear, I work for approximately 10 hours a day.
Oh my God.
So, yes, it's really hard, but I I have realized that I have started to even think in English.
Hmm.
Or yesterday I saw a dream talking with my colleague in English, so it was really surprising because
Hmm.
I mean, what I mean to say is that um, language and your um, society have a really big impact. I mean, you can know a lot of foreign languages, but the main language is the ones that you use the most frequently
Hmm. Okay.
on a daily.
Yeah, I've got it. Thank you. But a little bird told me another thing about your language background. Yeah, you were born in Germany, but I know that your parents come from another country. It's an Oriental country. Frankly speaking, I don't know. If you ask me to point to the country on the map, I couldn't do that really. It's either Afghanistan or Tajikistan or Uzbekistan, so some kind of stan. And do your parents still speak their first language? And can you speak this language too? At least, can you understand? Can you comprehend language if somebody speaks the language standing next to you?
Well, I can proudly say that I didn't forget about
Your roots.
my roots. Thank you. About my roots, and
Hmm.
I think that this is because of my parents who used
Okay.
to speak with me in Uzbek when I was a child,
So
and
it is Uzbekistan, right? It is their
yes,
historical motherland is Uzbekistan.
yes,
Okay.
and they used to speak with me in Uzbek in case to feel the at least atmosphere of my hometown, even if I have never visited Uzbekistan in my life.
Uh-huh.
So, but my parents believe that one day uh, I will go and see my old
Mm-hmm.
relatives, sorry,
Relatives, yeah. Uh-huh.
and and my parents are also work here in German,
Mm-hmm.
and they use German as their main language on a daily on their daily life. But sometimes we
You dilute your German with some Uzbek expressions, right?
yes, and we try to use it between our conversation in case to not forget any some words or idioms or some dialectal
Expressions.
expressions.
You've said not to forget idioms. So you want to say that the Uzbek language is quite idiomatic?
Yes, of course, you may be surprised, but uh, this is one of the most beautifully sounding languages,
Mm-hmm.
and it really fruitful for idioms. And one word can have, for example, 10 meanings.
Mm-hmm.
So really unique language.
It's a unique language. Okay. You want to say that. So, do you think that it will be hard for somebody who wanted to pick up a language to learn it?
Well, I think that it would be easier than German, than to learn German,
Okay.
uh, but a little bit challenging than studying English.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that you um, if you live for some time for some years or some months in Uzbekistan and surround yourself with native speakers and um, if you feel the atmosphere, then you can easily speak and understand this language for in approximately 3 or 4 months. It is up to you, I mean,
Yeah, I've got it.
but
Uh-huh.
in general, it's not such a challenging language.
I just want to draw. I want to draw parallels. The thing is, I have been to another state, which is adjoining. It's Kazakhstan. It's in the north from the country you have been talking about. You know, I spent about half a year traveling around Kazakhstan. What I mean to say is that I was in the north, in the south. It's a very large country, by the way. If I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, it's the sixth largest country in the world. And indeed, it's huge. And because of the great area of the country, um, there are a lot of dialects of the Kazakh language. I'm not quite good at linguistic terms. I mean to say that I can't pick up a language fast. I need some time to rub shoulders with local guys in order to understand the logic of the language, the main rules, which how to say, which comment the language, right? Uh, but I have noticed one thing. So because of the great number of dialects, you can't feel all right when you are speaking to a local guy because you don't know exactly which dialect he or she may choose when speaking to you. And that definitely uh, makes it harder to deal with. So let's draw parallels with German. So you know that Bavarians speak absolutely different German, and sometimes you need to re-ask them what they meant to say, right? We both know what I'm talking about. in comparison with people who live near the German-French state border. So because their German sounds like the French language, though the grammar is the same and the vocabulary is nearly the same. What I meant to say is that you are saying that if you want to pick up Uzbek, so you need to surround yourself with local guys in order to pick up language. But I have just looked at the map, and I'm looking at the map right now. Believe me or not, I'm looking at, down at the map, and I see that Uzbekistan isn't a small country, and that means only one thing. In linguistic terms, there are a lot of dialects. Do you think that your knowledge of Uzbek will be enough? Will allow you to feel all right in the linguistic terms when communicating with local guys?
Well, as I mentioned about, I haven't been to Uzbekistan in my life,
Yet.
but
Mhm.
yet, due to my parents, I know that there is yes, exactly, there is a kind of difference in pronunciation
Mhm.
and in dialectal styles.
Mhm.
But um, my mother told me that even if you are going to visit Bukhara, for example, you will be sure that you can understand the local people,
Mhm.
and so do they can understand you either.
Mhm.
Uh, so I don't have enough information about this subject, but according to my parents, mm, the differences only in pronunciation, um, this, but they are similar to the main Uzbek, which are spoken, for example, in Tashkent, which is spoken, for example, in Tashkent
Mhm.
or uh,
In main cities.
nearby regions.
I just want to tell you something which occurred to me. Uh, so a couple of minutes ago, you commented my English saying that, oh, your English is so good. It's not good. I will tell you why. So I still remember my first beta experience of being exposed to the typical English language atmosphere, because I like the word you have chosen, atmosphere. Yeah, yeah. And when I was first exposed to the oh, I wanted to say fucking, I'm sorry. When I was exposed to the real English atmosphere, it occurred in Ireland. Well, I was frustrated, really. I was about to start crying. I'm not joking. I mean business saying that, because when I got out of the airport, I came to realize that I couldn't understand a word of what the people around me were talking about. Absolutely anything was similar to me. Nothing was comprehensible to me. And I asked myself, "Hey, George, how are you gonna stay here? How are you gonna communicate with
Or
the people living here? You can't even understand. You can't comprehend a word of what they're telling you." And it was a disaster to me. It was a collapse for me. I was walking around for a few minutes trying to catch a taxi in order to get to the hotel where I had already ordered a room. And you know what? I couldn't explain to the drivers where I needed to go. They smiled at my English, and only much later, perhaps I had been living in Ireland for about 3 months until one of the local guys, told me that my English sounded too Cyrillic, too clean, because they don't speak like this. Well,
mm,
yeah, yes, yeah, my English is comprehensible, they say. He said, yeah, your English is comprehensible. Achtung, it's more or less okay, he said, but it sounds funny because you try not to make a mistake. Oh, I can see somebody. Hello, hello.
Смотри, кто тут, смотри.
What language are you speaking now? Is it Chinese?
Yes, some kind of children Chinese. Кран там? Где? Иди.
Wow. What is the language? No, really, I didn't get it, anything. It was the same situation which occurred to me back in Ireland. Really, what was the language now? Which language have you spoken now?
Russian?
You speak Russian? Oh my God, you have never told me that you can speak the language. You want to say that you're an influenced Russian speaker?
Yes, I'm kind of a polyglot.
You must be joking.
No.
Are you serious that you can speak Russian? Oh my God.
Yes.
And how often do you use the language?
Well, every day I speak in Russian with my toddler boy.
Hold on a second. I'm just trying to count the number of languages you can speak. So, of course, German, then English, because we have been speaking English. Now, I've just found out that you can speak Russian, is the third language, and Uzbek, right? You can speak 4 languages. Oh, gosh. Oh.
Latin.
Again, please.
Latin.
Latin. Oh, yeah, you're a doctor.
I mean, that language.
It is a language, of course. Yeah, it's a dead language, but it is a language.
Yes.
So again, German, Uzbek, your parents' language, right? And yours too. Russian, to my surprise, Russian. Again, German, English, Russian, Uzbek, and Latin. 5 languages. You're a super girl, right?
Thank you.
You're a super girl. Okay, thank you. So let's proceed to the next question, please.
Okay. Do you think you will watch more TV or fewer TV program shows in the future?
Why have we been talking about watching TV? Do you have any other questions from another of you?
Okay. Yes, of course. Do you agree that many people nowadays are under pressure to work longer hours and take less holiday?
Yeah, it's about you, I guess. It's applicable to you because today you told me that you work 10 hours a day. Oh my God, non-stop, 10 hours non-stop. Do you have lunch?
Yes, of course. I'm not a robot.
And how long can you enjoy having lunch?
Well, I can proudly say that my company is interested in the mental health of its employees.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Or employees.
For instance, we have an hour for a lunchtime, and also we have an hour for a nap. I mean,
for a nap? For a nap?
Yeah.
You want to say that you can enjoy napping?
Yes, you can.
I just don't believe it. You must be joking, say that. Come on.
No.
Okay, so, when our session is over, I will ask you the contact number of the organization you work for. I also want to work there. Oh.
Also, we have some time for exercises. This because they care about our health, and we can walk around our building.
You want to say, is there a garden around your building where you're working?
Yes, there is a huge garden full of various types of trees, so you can um, take the fresh air and enjoy walking and having some rest of these thousands of papers. So that's the main reason why we work 10 hours per day, 5 days a week.
At least 5 days a week, not 7 days a week. I want to ask you a few questions, but most of them are provocative about your work. Is it okay with you?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. So, what you have told me about your work is splendid. It's out of this world. It sounds like this: a perfect position, the perfect conditions at work, blah blah blah. A nice garden where you can walk around, breathing in fresh air. Even a cot where you can take a nap, etc., etc. Everything is fine except for one thing. I just don't believe that everything is fine. There must be something wrong about it, the picture. Can I guess it now? So tell me if I'm right, thinking that you've got some problems with in your interaction, in the interaction with your boss. Tell me a few words about your boss, please. Yeah. Is it he or
Um,
she, first of all?
it's he.
And what kind of, how to say, relationship do you have with each other? I mean, uh, do you, is there anything wrong about it? Really, I don't believe that everything is that fine, as you've just told me.
Oh, to be honest, there is one thing which really between our relationship. Well, I used to know his ex-girlfriend,
Hmm.
and they were about to have a wedding and all this stuff. But
Hmm.
one day he caught her girlfriend on a cheating.
Hmm.
So since that day he have started to think that I was into this problem, and I knew about this cheating, and
Hmm.
didn't even
Let him know.
uh, and didn't even let him know. But I really didn't know about this. I mean, anything about this. So I was trying to say it to him. I mean, by um, not in the straight way, but in
You
some
gave him a
occasion.
hint? You gave him a hint?
Yes, yes, I gave him a hint, but unfortunately, I don't know why, but in some point he blames me, or I mean, maybe he has some um, bad memories, and maybe
Maybe
every
he's
time,
stupid.
maybe he's stupid. I don't know, but but because of this occasion, he started to do some tricks. I mean, play um,
To play
to
tricks on
play
you?
the yes, and to play this game that he выдумал.
Thought up.
Как?
Thought up.
That he thought up in his head. So so every day he do some things. For example, yesterday he told me to do extra work, which means which meant that I stuck in the workplace for 2 hours. I mean, extra 2 hours.
Hmm.
And, every day he um, he searched for that tricks, and to be honest,